Can we have all of you on camera if possible so that we can communicate? Or if you want to ask your questions audio, that's also fine. This session is essentially to address any questions about the ICF process of becoming a coach and growing. So happy to start taking your questions. What are your questions? And I'm sure once you ask your questions, then we can get started on that. Like, what would you like to know? Where are you in your journey?
Jaya, this is Shanaka. Can I go first?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm outside my residence, so I can't keep my video on. Um, so I'm basically a novice to coaching from a formal perspective, but I've been in the corporate sector for about 25 years and holding senior leadership positions as well. Taking a break from the corporate world, so to speak. And I'm quite interested in leadership coaching, and also I've done some mentoring for the universities as well as some professional bodies. I'm just thinking of taking this as the next step or trying things out as a coach. So basically, I think I'm brand new to formal coaching, but I feel that it's something that is, quite passionate in me to try it out. So that's where my background to this call is as an introduction. So the question that I would like to ask is, how do you start being a formal coach? Because I don't have any credentials or certifications or anything as such, but I would say probably a whole heap of experience. Where do you think, is a starting point?
Hmm.
I'm not sure whether it's the right question, but
It is absolutely. And in coaching, we say there are no wrong questions. So definitely the right question to
right, right.
right? So, okay, so a little bit of history. Coaching as a profession started getting organized around 31 years back by International Coaching Federation. Not that coaching wasn't available earlier, it was, but the more regulation, the guidelines, the ethics started coming together in around 31 years back. Now, coaching actually was born in Europe post the Second World War because there was a lot of depression in the world. And that is when mentoring started, therapy started, and slowly the set of consultants from one of a consulting firm realized that there can be more. So people who do, because people do not follow advice easily. So then the coaching profession came in. There was a element of adult learning because if it was easy to follow instructions, we all would have lost weights and we all would have changed our careers, and we all have so much of advice available, but adults do not work like that. And hence there is a profession of coaching that was born to create results by not giving advice but creating curiosity, inspiration, motivation. So that's the process of coaching. Now, International Coaching Federation, over so many years, 31, 32 years now, have designed a very specific path for coaches to follow. And it starts from level one education. So, level one education is a foundational program which needs you to go through a curriculum of around 60 hours of training and 10 hours of mentoring in that. And based on that, we prepare you for a ACC credential. So that's the first step to answer to your question. Does that help?
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay. Do you have any leading question to that? Otherwise, I can move to another.
No, we can move on. Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah. Great. What are your other questions in the room? I see a lot of people in the room. What else would you like to ask? This is Ask Me Anything. So, what is your curiosity around coaching industry, about profession, about paths, about progression, about prospects after that? Anything that will help you.
Shaya, can I ask a question?
Yes, Ruchika.
So I am preparing for my ACC exam and would love to know from you or any advice on how to approach the situational or questions that feel like trap. I mean, with so many options, I mean, it could be confusing and might lead to picking up the wrong one. So just some advice on how to approach such questions, uh, that might help me.
Okay. So, see, there is a change in the way exams take place in ICF now. Earlier, there used to be a common exam for ACC and PCC, which included scenario-based questions, which creates this kind of a confusion because at ACC level, you may not be that experienced to take through that. So now what happens is for ACC, you have a competency-based exam. And for PCC, you have a scenario-based exam. So concept-based and scenario-based. So at the ACC level, what you need to do is really understand competencies in great details and obviously connect it with the practice that you have done and then attempt the questions, because if you're attempting the questions without going through the competency, so there's a lot of revision and understanding required. That's also the reason why in Abhyodaya community we keep running competency sessions, because the 8 competencies defined by ICF actually are very deep in nature. So every time you visit a competency session, there is a new understanding and new meaning you derive out of it. Now that's what they're trying to test. So ICF is trying to test your understanding on ICF competencies, and that's where the preparation needs to be. I hope that helps, Ruchika.
It does. Thank you.
Great. What's another question?
Hi, ma'am. I
Hi.
have a few questions that I wanted to ask you. So basically, I'm a tarot reader. I am like practicing for 6 years now, and coaching has been on my mind for a bit now. So I'm based in Gurgaon. That is how I found your academy. So, like, first major question that I was like very worried about is ki I've not studied for a long time now, and I've read through your brochure and I've read all about coaching. So the question is that like how much a person struggles after a long break of studying, formally. Like, is this exam very difficult to pass? Is there like very there's a lot to study, or what goes on? I have no idea.
Okay, so see, the journey is staggered. You don't do everything together, number
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
The journey also has a pieces of self-paced preparation. So basically, when we start the journey, you have online classes, and then you have offline work, then you have practice, and then you have exams. So to reach
Okay.
exam, you have a long way to go. Like you take good at least 1 year to reach the exam if you are even if you are practicing, right? You need 100
Okay.
hours of practice to reach. Now, the whole training and the mentoring and the offline work that you do prepares you for that. Now, the mistake a lot of coaches do is that they take every step in isolation. But if you understand that what you're learning in training and what you're learning in the practice and mentoring is all connected to the exam, you will not have to even prepare for the exam.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's not tough. It's just about staying focused, keeping track. And that's the reason the processes that we have created take you deep reflections. There are logs. For example, when you are logging your hours, we just don't say log your hours. We say reflect on each and every conversations. And if you're maintaining those logs on time, with on track, then you are already getting prepared for that exam that comes in the ACC. And ACC is the easiest exam, by the way. So it's not. Don't make it an elephant in your head. So
Hmm.
you start your journey. You need to understand that they will test your knowledge and information on competencies. So from day one, start weaving your understanding, and that's the idea. That's how we train you also.
Okay. Thank you.
But
Um.
yeah.
Also, I like given your program's corporate lean.
Mhm.
I wanted to know like I have very few knowledge like about कि मुझे कौन सी field में जाना चाहिए, should it be relationship coaching or life coaching or corporate coaching. So like what do you suggest, like where should one start who is like a beginner?
So see, the level one program is foundational for everybody, irrespective of the niche you want to choose. Only once
Okay.
you do program one, then you start practicing. Niche comes in when you have enough experience to go and say, these are my patterns, these are the kind of people I would love to work, and this is where I'll create my products and market. So that step is again the 20th step, but first let's finish what
Hmm.
you need: the foundation, the ACC credential, and the practice that we make you do, and the logs that we make you do are actually all stepping stone towards your niche. Now, again, the mistake that a lot of coaches do it, they see everything in isolation. They think ye alag hai, ye alag hai, ye alag hai. They don't
Hmm.
connect the dots. But if you connect the dots from the beginning, everything is designed in a way to make you successful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, but last question. Like I've, of course, as a beginner, I've compared a lot of academies, and your brochure says that there's like the fee structure is like premium, right? So comparatively, your fee structure is, I feel, is a little higher. So like what do you suggest? What sets it apart, and what's like the premium thing about it?
Well,
I'd like to
the
know.
overall quality and the investment that we do in our people is
Hmm.
very premium in the sense that there is a lot of attention given to everybody.
Yeah.
In fact, on the call, you have two of our academy participants who can actually maybe share their thoughts.
Yeah.
There is a lot of attention, there's a lot of deliberation. I myself teach in the classes. I'm myself invested in a lot of careers. We have already proven ourselves so many times, and we keep
Yeah.
equating our content. So there is a lot of passion that is involved.
Hmm.
There is attention given to each and every person, and
Yeah.
in the background we are always making sure that we try to cater to everything that they need. So that is what makes us different in the industry.
Okay. Okay. Great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Mhm. All right. What are the other questions?
Jaya, if I may ask another question
Yeah.
over here. So, if you could shed some light on how does the portfolio path also look like, knowing that one is on their own when it comes to pursuing this, and also with regards to the CCEU aspect, because then we have to cover up, I'm not sure, 125 hours of education or something on those lines. So if you could help in removing that sort of ambiguity between pathway and the portfolio, I people who are pursuing this might also find this useful or may give some insights.
Okay, so portfolio path is designed for courses which are not ICF approved, but teaching coaching. For example, there are a lot of universities who are teaching coaching, but they're not ICF approved. So those are the
Hmm.
courses which are applicable for portfolio. Now, the CC story is that earlier you could collect CCUs as per 125 hours and then you go and apply. However, there was a lot of quality cracks started happening. And hence, ICF has taken a decision to say, hey, there will be, first of all, earlier, if I'm an academy and I can run a webinar, I can give you a CCU. That was permitted. But now that's not permitted. I have to have a CCU course approved on ICF portal to be able to call it a CCU. So that is one way to fill the quality gap. So now the method of putting together CCUs and applying for coach training hours does not exist anymore. Only programs which are teaching coaching, let's say a university, a Columbia University, I know teaches a course in coaching, but they're not ICF accredited, are the ones that are applicable like that, right? And then you basically prove, you have to put together a lot of documentation to show that the curriculum that you have gone through is directly connected to ICF core competencies, and there is a documentation to prove that. And then obviously you have to take mentoring separately and then you apply for portfolio. So portfolio path is for those education which is teaching ICF core competency connected knowledge, but not approved by ICF. I hope that helps.
It does. Thank you.
Welcome. Great. Any other questions? What are the other questions?
Jaya, any upcoming sessions on or any resources on the mock questions or the exam for the ACC preparation, or if Abhyudaya is taking up any session on that? Is it lined up?
Good question. So, Ruchika, so anybody who becomes part of Abhyudaya gets access to Abhyudaya LMS. And so, for example, if you have done a level 1 program with us, under level 1 program, you have a lot of free quizzes available there, which are meant to prepare you. So you keep taking those quizzes and you keep getting prepared for that exam. There are, I think, 5 to 6 quizzes which are different, which are focusing on different competencies. So that resource is available to all the Abhyudaya resources, Abhyudaya participants without any obligation. The session story is that we have tried conducting sessions on exams several times and we totally struggle with the attendance piece. And hence we kind of do not conduct sessions anymore. However, maybe in future we may arrange sessions that can help.
Sure, thank you. I'll touch base with Timsy to retrieve my access. I've forgotten it, but thank you.
Sure. Cool. What are your next questions? Thank you for asking questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
Like, how far do you support coaching as a career? Like, what are the prospects for a person? I can understand it's also like a doctor. Like, if you are successful, might be you might get more clients like that. But basically, how the world is moving and how the interests are among the public.
Super helpful question, and we have been asked this question like 100 times, which is why what we have started doing is we have a community of about 400 coaches that are there. So two things you have to understand. Number one, how is the external environment demand for coaching is. So what is clearly happening is either the government sector or the private sectors have started asking for coaching in large numbers. So let's say 100 people, 200 people. Coaching has started from a couple of years now. Now that process definitely has a restriction of asking for coaches at the PCC level. So that is why we keep encouraging our participants to say, hey, listen, the market is right now asking for PCC coaches. So please get to that level, that education, so that we are in a position to recommend you. So then we have also created a platform called Ekai, wherein we have started onboarding our coaches. In fact, right now there are 3 projects going on where our coaches are staffed and they basically apply through that. The honest submission, our platform is not the best one yet. However, we are doing everything possible to staff and use. Obviously, when I get a requirement, I will obviously go for Abhyudaya community to get staffed on this thing. However, the clear restriction that we are facing with most of the organization is the PCC level. So that is how we support. If I have to give you a number, if I am very conservative, somewhere around 20 coaches have taken projects from us from last couple of years and continue to do that, if that helps.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. What are the other questions? Yes, Binay.
Good afternoon, Jaya. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
Good. Sorry, Subha, if you want to go, I think you have a follow-up question. Go ahead, please.
No, it's okay. You carry on. I will continue after you ask. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Now, I think somebody asked about the portfolio path. I think there was another path. I forgot the exact name, but I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, it's called Bridge Program when you do ACC and PCC together, right? You have to just give one exam. So is it something is there, or with the new ICF changes, it has gone altogether?
Yeah, you can still do that. So, for example, earlier there was a program so earlier the terminology was different. It's used to be called as ACSTH, which means only training hours, and ACTP, which means you have done assessment, you have done mentoring, you have done everything, and you're ready for applying for exam. Now that is changed to level 1 and level 2. So if somebody enters level 1 program and they are clear that I want to give only one exam, then they sign up for the integrated program, which means that they finish the foundational knowledge, they finish the mentoring, then they graduate to level 2 program without giving any exam. And then once their 500 hours are completed, they can directly go for PCC exam. So that's not changed.
That's not changed. Okay, great. I think
You can
glad,
still.
yeah. Okay, glad to hear that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Suba, you can go ahead if you wish to.
Another one is that I have seen some during COVID time, even kids were involved in bit of coaching, and then they were given insights of like the pattern of the behavior like that. So how far do you support inculcating this as a curriculum for kids as well?
So Subha, what is happening is right now there is no particular curriculum for kids. However, the foundational program give you enough skills and process to modify it for any audience, because the coaching process is the same, whether you apply it in life coaching scenario or in leadership or anywhere else. So the process remains the same. When you're creating a niche, you basically blend your experience and your coaching process to modify it for that particular audience. That's also the reason why you do not see a lot of courses or curriculums on niche, because those programs are not coaching programs. Those are mentoring programs for that particular audience. For example, let's say if I need to create a curriculum for how to support teenagers with teen problems, then I am actually creating a training program or a mentoring program using maybe some bit of coaching, and then serving the need of that audience and maybe bringing tools or workshops or whatever to help them. When it comes to coaching, coaching is a very conversational method. It is a method where you talk to the person and help them find their clarity through the conversation. So that's the reason why you don't see a lot of curriculum in across the world, actually, if you can go and find it. However, in our course, we do not do particular, while we have a plan to do it, but we do not do a particular curriculum for any particular niche so far. But I think that's quite common across. Does that help, Subha?
Now, my question is, I understand that, like, what I'm asking is now for when you become a coach, you understand the behavior, and then you try to help them out of certain issues or whatever. So is do we need to put that idea among kids that so that they also will like lower their expectations, for example, like when they talk to elders, like some will be like this, some will be like that, so you need to accommodate with the reason, like if we blindfoldedly say no, no, you should respect elders and all those things, but
That won't work.
when you put it with the coaching knowledge, can you like bit more explain to them or make them, and does it help that way, I'm asking?
Yes, that definitely it helps. It definitely helps you to customize your approach for any age group. Any age group, actually. The competencies give you navigation about how do you deal with different people, different ages, from different preferences and personalities. Does that answer, Shubha?
So what is the right age you can expose your children to this? Is there anything like
Interesting. Interesting. So that really depends on the maturity of the child rather than the age of the child. So I have witnessed children who are mature way earlier than their age and they get the questions of coaching. They are also participative. They also try to respond. But depending on what house they come from, what conditioning they are from, like for example, Anushli is there and I have interacted with her kids and they're extremely, extremely receptive to respond to questions. And they actually, Lakshan asks questions which you can't answer. So also, like he'll really challenge your mindset. So I don't think age is a thing, given the way world is evolving and kids are getting mature way before their ages. Like a teenage starts at 10, not at 13 anymore. Right. So there is a lot of environmental factors and the way world is evolving because of internet and AI. The age is not the bar, the maturity is, if that helps.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for asking questions. Great. What are the other questions we have here? Hi, Anushli. Good to see you.
Hi, Jaya. I can see a lot of known faces in the group. Binay is raising his hand.
Yes, Vinay.
Now, following it up with Suva's question, so I'm in Hyderabad, so we are working with the GMR Foundation. GMR is most of the Indian airports is being managed by them. It's a very big corporate. They have a foundation called GMR Varalakshmi Foundation. They have a lot of colleges, schools for privileged and underprivileged kids. So the ICF Hyderabad chapter is supporting the college, which is the BTech, right? The people who are doing in college or in the BTech world. So, I mean, it's both to you, Jaya and Anushli, that with that age group of, with BTech or maybe 21, under 25, how does coaching works? Because we have to incorporate a little bit of mentoring as well there, and then holistically. I'm not saying that, but how do you see this? First question, and then second is that uh, at certain scenarios where proper ICF-based coaching is not there, can we involve a little bit of mentoring and counseling a bit? That's the second one.
Okay. So coaching also needs to work with the context, right? Coaching was created in a very different culture, and we are applying it in a very different culture. And every culture needs a customization for the contextualization, I must say. So, based on where you are applying it, it definitely needs a blend of different modalities with clear permissions and guidelines, because when you are providing coaching and given that there is a ICF code of ethics involved, you clearly tell your clients that we will be using a blend of services. And ICF ethics clearly says that if you are doing it, you just have to be in a clear agreement. And it doesn't mean that you can't do it. It's just that when you're doing it, you should be very clear about where your role ends as a coach and where your role as a mentor starts, and how are you really delivering that. If even if it is a blend of conversation, then it should your agreement should clearly says that, irrespective of whichever context you are applying that. I hope that makes sense. And it can be in any culture, because every culture would ask for a blend and a contextualization of it.
Correct. True. I think that's what we have started it altogether. Because with these kids, not always, with due respect, they're very smart, but not always the proper ICF-based coaching, happens with them, right?
Which is okay, which is not even applicable for adults also. It's all about the context and conditioning that we are coming from.
Correct. Correct. True. Thank you so much for answering that.
Thank you. Great. What are the other questions in the room? If you're someone who wants to start, somebody who's already started, somebody who's feeling stuck in the journey, somebody who's done the journey but now waiting for the next step, any question is welcome in the room. Please feel free to ask. You can also use the chat to ask your question.
So I don't know, Jaya, whether this question is already asked, but I hear this question a lot, like while I'm doing so many other professions, how can I also be a coach and use the skills of coaching by going through this program? So I don't, was this question already asked or?
No, it's the same. It's not been asked like this. However, my answer is the same that you have to contextualize it. If I'm dealing, whichever culture, for example, when we are dealing with Asian culture, it needs a blend. And as far as I'm keeping my client informed and I'm honest about the process I'm following and I know my boundaries of different processes, it's absolutely okay. And that's what ICF ethics also say. Um, what is not acceptable is I'm calling it coaching, but I'm doing mentoring. What is not
Yeah.
acceptable is under the wrap of coaching, you're doing everything else, which is not applicable to coaching. So the agreement really needs to be clear as to what all methodologies you will use. Your client should be okay with that. And the coaching competencies are life skills. So listening is a life skills. Provoking, evoking awareness, which means that asking good right amount of questions or good questions is a life skill. Actually, contract is also a life skill. It's just that we are not used to talking in that way. So all the competencies that we teach in ICF are actually life skills that can anyway be helpful for anybody in any context. What is important is when you're getting trained as a coach, you need to know your boundaries because we may get into spaces which we are not trained for. For example, let's say if I am talking to somebody and I'm coaching and I suddenly realize that this person is sitting with a lot of trauma, I'm not a trained therapist. So I should be aware and take appropriate action so that I'm not doing the harm to the client and I'm also not overclaiming who I am not. And those are the things that are defined in ethics and boundaries. And we just need to be aware about when we are shifting our hats and let the client know because there are times the client needs a little bit of different conversation. And you say that right now in this moment, I'm just shifting my hat from a coach to a mentor. And these are a few things that you can consider. And as far as you are following the contract, you are keeping the contract alive, keeping the boundaries alive, it's absolutely fine. Does that answer, Anashli, what you asked?
Yeah, so that's a question that I get sometime when I reach out for the ICF coach training. One is how do I play these different roles? And while me playing the other roles, how can becoming a coach can also add value? Because I might be a consultant, I might be a teacher, or I might be a counselor, but still this can be another value-adding profession for whatever that you're trying to offer to your client. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to see that all the modalities work like immunity boosters. So you're adding magnesium and you're adding vitamin D3 and you're adding every supplement has its own role, right? So it's not this or that. It is this and that with complete understanding of boundaries and agreement. So it's absolutely okay to practice all the skills. However, ensuring the contract and the agreement and the permissions are in place. Right? Great. What are the other questions in the room? Thank you for asking and keeping this conversation engaged because it's really dependent on the questions you're asking. What else would you like to ask?
Can you talk a little bit more about the latest buzz in the coaching world called the laser coaching?
Laser coaching. Okay, what are you hearing?
I think I attended the ICF conclave. I think somebody presented that, it can be done in a very quicker format. Generally, these conversation standard, I would say, not a very passing is 45 minutes to an hour, maybe sometimes more, depends upon the conversation. But laser-based coaching is a little less than that, like under half an hour or 20 minutes or something like that. So what is it and what are your thoughts about it? The second question.
I can't refer to the session you're referring to because I was not there. But what the way I practice laser coaching is creating result in 15 minutes, creating results in 20 minutes for someone. Yeah, which really means that you are able to get to the belief system faster and you're able to apply the process faster. It's a supersonic speed of coaching, basically. You're not really going on exploring a lot of things. You're just basically directly asking about the agreement, getting rid of the belief, helping them reframe, and 15 minutes, you're done. At times, you don't have to even go to the belief system. At times, the conversation is very transactional in nature. For example, somebody's going for a board meeting and they need your perspective. You can blend in, you can ask questions, help them reframe their mindset, and that's it. So the whole idea is, what's the topic, what's the objective, and have you trained yourself to do the process faster and deeper? So that really, and that's where the world is moving, by the way. Nobody will have time to sit and get coached for 60 minutes, 45 minutes in the future. We all have to get there slowly.
Fantastic. And if somebody joins your program, would you be able to help them to how to do this? You will teach them as well?
Yeah, of course. Let's talk one-to-one. I'll teach you how to do that.
Perfect. Great. Thank you.
Okay, Ramit, what's your question?
There's also a question in the chat, Jaya. Maybe after Amit or before Amit, you can take it.
Okay, I've not seen that. What would be what success look like after a coaching exercise? Okay, you mean coaching session? Okay, I will answer anyway. So listen, the whole idea of coaching is, how can you enable sustainable change in people? Simple example, see, how many of us take gym membership and we never complete that? Is because that subscription-based approaches do not work for adults. Advice does not work for us all the time. If I need to make a change, it has to be internally driven. It has to be self-directed, right? Coaching is that process. So if the coach is very competent, they can actually help people find their answers fast, and that stays with them. So I have people coming back to me like 20 years later and saying that one thing that you said made a difference in my thinking. Whether they take action on changing their habits or not is a very different thing, but perspective shifting is the work that coaches do. So a good coaching session feels like the coachee feels that they have done the work, not me. In fact, I have started telling my clients, saying the day you feel that you're doing the work and I'm not doing the work is when I'm successful, because you are using the effort and the time and the thinking to move forward in my presence. And that's my work. That's what a masterful coach is, where you are enabling the environment for people to get motivated to make a change in their life. Because the only change they will make is what will sustain. No advice sustains for long. I hope that answers. Okay. What are the other questions?
I think Ramit raised his hand. No, Ramit, do you want to go?
Yeah. So like the video you mentioned before the meeting, I'm not from HR background. I'm from a creative background. So I have a passion for coaching, and I'm currently studying ACC. So how can I convert or like start a career or something like that? I have been like noticing most of the coaches are from HR or those kind of like leadership role. But for me, I don't have that kind of experience. But I have leadership training like in my younger days in school. But how can I start with coaching? I mean, thank you.
So first of all, it's a myth that you need to be from HR or training background to be a coach. The role of a coach is to enable transformation in other humans' life. Okay. So it doesn't matter you're from HR background or not. What you need to do is, you need to see what is the problem you want to solve around you. And if you are able to figure out that problem, you can connect coaching with that. And coaching solves human problem, thinking problem, conversation through the conversations. So you have to just figure out that based on your experience, which is one area, one target audience where you can create an impact. You can help people move forward in their thinking. You can help people make a change in their lives. And then you have things together. Then you create offerings or products or services based on that. For example, somebody can say, I am a coach for a teenager and I help them get through the teen age smoothly, right? So a very specific solution for a very specific audience. There are coaches who says, I help women leaders get ready for board positions. Clear. Somebody can say, I help, women in 40 plus women in transitioning through their periods little more smoothly. Somebody can say, I help men, find a space of expression and feel better, or find a place for expression and get more clarity. Somebody can say, I'm a parent coach and I help parents solve their problems related to parenting. So there can be any kind of solution. And that's why coaching is a creative field. It's a field where you can create. And if it is humans and it is coaching, you put it together, you just have to figure out the problem you want to solve. So once you are able to figure out the problem you want to solve, then there are multiple ways to help people. You can create support groups, you can create workshops, you can do sessions, you can collaborate with somebody to give a complimentary service, all that. So much is available. And the world is in need so much today. I mean, there is so much of support everybody is seeking. For example, these days when I go for training, there's a single problem. Everybody says, leaders says, we don't know how to deal with AI, Gen Zs. Single conversation that they don't listen, they're not serious about their work. There's a lot of judgment around that. And then we work with them to change their mindset and reframe. Right? Now, this is nothing to do with leadership or HR. It is about working with two generations. I hope that helps.
It was helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. So first of all, deal with your myth that you need HR or training background. You don't need. Okay. I see a question in the chat. Sonal says, hi, you were saying for an additional certificate with level 1, are they ICF certified too? Yes, Sonal, if you're referring to integrated program, everything is ICF with Abhyodaya, because that is what gives us credibility and standards to follow. I don't know if I answered your question, but if you want to speak up or share on chat, I'm happy to extend. You're welcome. Great. What are the other questions in the room? Yes, Maima.
So I wanted to ask how much of the work is self-directed, like reading in theory versus like practice and conversations, and all sessions are online, or do we like sit up and talk and have sessions in person?
Okay, very good question. So see, the level 1 course is 60 hours. So 50% is synchronous, which means 50% you are engaged with the faculty, and 50% you have to do the work. For example, reflection forms, book reading, is all part of asynchronous. So that's how the design is, which also means that there's a lot of discipline required. In fact, these journeys teach you a lot of discipline. I wasn't a very organized or disciplined person when I started my journey. But because I took this path, I had to learn a lot and change a lot and work with myself, my habits to be able to be more disciplined. Because, see, you are changing others' life. And if
Yeah.
you can't change yours, then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to
Yes.
become extremely disciplined, read a lot of books slowly. And that's the reason these programs are paced out, that you take your time, but you continue to reflect on yourself to say, hey, when you're going to support others, what are you doing with your own self? So it is like a mirror as well. I hope that helps.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Who is going to be the trainer? I am the trainer most of the times. We have mentors trained with us. Anushli is one of the mentor who helps us with the mentoring sessions. We also have an upcoming faculty who's getting trained with us. So some sessions she also takes, but primarily you'll see me in the sessions with the mentor. So the benefit of our program is also that you get exposed to a lot of very experienced coaches, and everybody adds a perspective to you. If you have just one trainer, then you're only learning from one person. And you have multiple people and the whole ecosystem, you learn from everybody. I hope that answers, Sonal. Great. What are the other questions? We have been doing this education for last 15 years and have successfully created several coaches in the community, ACC, PCC, MCC. So there is a lot of conversations available in case you want to talk to somebody who's done our courses. We are very happy to connect to you. With them, you can either drop a message to us or you can reach out to Mansi or anybody in our team and we will connect you to our alumni. What are the other programs or certifications you provide? Great question. So we do level 1, level 2, level 3. So ACC, PCC, MCC. We also do team coaching program, which is a specialization. We also do mentor coach certification, and we are coming up with a supervision certification for very experienced coaches. So these are the programs that we have right now. And then we are planning to launch some short courses for people who are yet not ready for the journey, but that's for next year. What are the options for additional certificate with level 1? So basically, additional certificate with level 1. So level 1 is a foundational course, Sonal. It will teach you about how to do coaching, what are the processes, what are the this thing. But there are additional modules if you want to take, then obviously they come separately. They get charged for you separately. For example, NLP tools, social and emotional intelligence, Meraki certification. Meraki is our tool that we have created. It's a picture cards through which you can do conversations. Very helpful for scenarios where the conversation or communication is logged. Like teenagers, you can actually use the cards. Our coaches use it. Yeah, so social emotional intelligence, NLP tools. We also do client game session, which is additionally available to you, and you can look at that too. What is team coaching and mentor coaching, and can you explain what more and who can do these? For sure, Vinay, thank you. So team coaching, basically, if somebody wants to work with a group. So now team coaching is emerging as one of the need. For example, in the organizations, you don't want to only help one-to-one people, but you want to help a group of people. So then the teams and the groups are allocated and you can coach them together. So team coaching is a program that helps you understand the process of helping multiple people together. That helps the organization take your service because then they don't want to engage everybody one-to-one. One-to-one coaching obviously is expensive and is for the senior leader generally. And if they want to do it for the managerial level or for the level where the topics are common, for example, let's say there is a problem of people management in the organization, or if there is a topic around how to deal with a Gen Z generation. Now, these are common problems across a set of people. That's when the a team coach is brought in to take care of these issues. And it's getting popular simply because the organizations are realizing the importance. Even if you're not working with corporates, group coaching helps you to support people in group, and you understand how do you apply coaching process with the one-to-many model rather than one-to-one model. Then the mentor coaching certification is for people, coaches who want to become mentors. For example, when you enter a course, you have to do 10 hours of mentoring. Now, all the mentors that we hire in Abhyodaya are all certified mentors. That is the certification we take you through in mentor coach certification. The minimum requirement to become a mentor coach is you need to be a PCC to start that journey. Now, there are some changes in ICF, so there will also be availability from ACC onwards. However, right now we are focusing on coaches with minimum PCC to be able to learn the skill of mentor coaching so that they can support other coaches, because the success of a coach very hugely depends on the mentor. So you need to have the right mentor who's qualified, who understands the skill, who has practiced the skill, and just not randomly giving you advice. So that is mentor coaching. Can we apply in business or startups? Binay, which part you are asking, or NGO? Team coaching or mentor coaching? Both. So team coaching, group coaching, definitely anywhere it can be applicable. Mentor coaching is very specific to ICF coaching. So it's very specific for ICF coaches. there is no skill that can't be applied anywhere. It depends on how creative you are and how you can create a new dish out of the skills you have. It is just about being creative. So I wouldn't say you can't, but I would say it depends on how curious you are to develop others. And there is, every day I create new courses and tools to be, because my curiosity comes in, oh, I learned that from that course and I learned that from that course, and I can put it together and create it together. So very creative. You can just be creative and support people as much as you want. Your passion decides the applicability, not the course. Okay, thank you. What are the other questions? We are coming to the end of the hour, and I can stay more if there are more questions. Meenakshi is asking a question. What does it take a plan, a gradual transition from corporate role into a full-time credible coaching career, and what must adapt in the mindset and schedule? Very good question, Meenakshi. See, what is important for everybody to understand is no career is a quick career. When you started your life, or when you graduated from your post-graduation or graduation, or when you started working, you didn't get success the first day. When you start a business, you don't get the success first day. This career is also like that. You're starting as a student, as a beginner, and you have to give it some runtime. So if somebody is already working in an organization, it's a good idea to start the education, because the education, adoption, application, all takes time. It's a paced out career. Actually, it's an organic speed, I would say. It's not a slow pace. It's a pace in which humans learn and humans apply anything, right? So if you are working in an organization, then you should be starting your education. And once you finish your education, the question that Sonal is asking is you get certified and you launch yourself as a coach. Now, what is very important, and a lot of times I see coaches find it difficult to make a career out of coaching, is because they just want to do coaching and they don't want to sell themselves as a coach. That is where the problem comes. Let's say if you have opened a shop and nobody knows about it, can you ever sell anything? No, you can't. So when you become a coach, you also have to position yourself. You have to become a thought leader. You have to write on LinkedIn. You have to make videos in today's world. Videos work very well. Reels work very well. There is some amount of work needs to be done for brand building. And that's a very honest submission. So many people, so many great coaches are just shying away from that process. And that's the reason why we have so many coaches in the world, there are very few who are able to make a mark, because it all depends on how much impact or how much support you want to extend through yourself. You can also be a person who will say, I just want to coach few people and I don't want to make videos and I don't want to be on LinkedIn and I don't want to be da da da. Fine, that's a choice you're making. So the ROI depends on the effort you make on a branding. And I'm in this career for last 15 years. I have constantly evolved, challenged myself. I was a shy person. I never wanted to write on LinkedIn. Coming to video was such a difficult thing for me. But that's the idea. While you are promising to help others unleash their potential, what are you doing with yourself? Are you saying, I will not change anything in me and I want the certificate to give me business and it should be equal to my salary? Sorry, then that's a dreamland you are in. That is not possible. Let's be honest, whenever you become anything and leave coaching, you become a consultant, you open a shop, you open a business, you have to go and sell. Unless you're in a job, you have to sell. And that's a choice you're making. So might as well be ready for that choice. And it's okay if you're not ready. Coaching sessions help you make ready. So I was never this person. I can honestly tell you, I was never this person. But I changed. I was ready to learn. I'm still ready to learn. I continue to challenge myself. I continue to do all the things that I never wanted to do: finance, marketing, sales, videos, content developing. No, I wasn't that person. So that's the idea coaching brings to you, that it is not necessary that if you have not done it in past, you can't do it in future. You can. And that's the hope we are generating in others, right? We are saying it's okay if you've not done it in past, doesn't matter. We all can change and evolve. And that's the beauty of being a human, isn't it? That's what coaching does to us. So I hope you got the answer around ROI. How do coaches find and sign their initial clients? Good question, Meenakshi. Again, thought leadership is important. Writing on LinkedIn is important. Creating videos is important. And for that, what is important is who are you helping and what are you solving? Two questions. If you can figure out whom you are helping, I have seen coaches who've not been able to find that answers. And these questions are tough, by the way. That's the reason in the integrated program, we help people find those answers, because there is an additional module on business development wherein we actually engage with them to find some of these answers, to say what problem you want to solve, which segment you want to go in, and then slowly create a statement which can help them find their path. Because you can create offerings only when you know what you're selling and whom are you selling this for. A lot of times I have seen coaches wanting to not define that, thinking that they will reduce their options, but actually it's the other way around. Till the time you don't tell what you're selling, people will not understand what you're saying. So even if you create videos, and I have seen a lot of coaches on YouTube and everywhere else, they say anything and everything or general life coaching gyan. It doesn't land because you're not connecting with the problem. It is not about what you know, it's about what people want to buy from you. And that's very important, to connect. People don't care you're a coach or not. People care about the problem you're solving for them. If somebody is hungry, they need food. So are you the person either providing food or you are helping them, connect the dots? So if you have to find initial clients, number one, when you join the courses, you have to create community, you have to network with people, you have to be open, you have to also learn to unlearn some of your habits which are keeping you small. So you unleash your potential, build network, write it on LinkedIn, create videos, and you can all do that slowly. You don't have to do everything in one day. And if this process overwhelms you, I won't say don't start the journey. I would say definitely give it a start, because you will not recognize yourself in 10 years' time. You would have changed so much. And that's the only way you find a lot of satisfaction in life. Because when you are able to, unleash your own potential, there is nothing else. You are the only project you need to work on yourself. And that's when you can help others. I hope that helps. Okay. What are the other questions? And by the way, 15 years of training coaches, everybody reaches a point of earning from the clients. We have several examples of coaches who've started from zero with all these doubts and slowly figured out their way, set up their practices. Some of them are here. Anushri is one of them. Binay is one of them. We all figure out. We learn how to you really figure out, because that's what coaching does. It empowers people to move forward in life. Okay, what are the other questions?
Hi, Jaya. This is Jyotika. I manage the board advisory practice at ABC. I'm a partner with the firm, and I'm just kind of jumping in here for a minute to also answer this. We have a separate division which actually manages getting coaches for some of our clients, right? And I have realized this dichotomy that you are a great coach, you don't have the network, you're not sure where to go and what to do. But you're absolutely right. I agree with you. Unless we do not see what competencies an individual brings on the table, what experience they carry behind them, uh, you're lost in the crowd completely. So I think that becomes imperative. And one of the things we are noticing a lot, especially with our mid-sized promoters, is that they now ask for coaches with competencies of industry, of function. So HR is not the function they look for, really. That's only one of them. Maybe at 60, but 40% also comes from industry and functional expertise. To answer the gentleman's question who spoke about the fact that he did not come from human resources, the hiring landscape for coaching has changed so much in the last 5 years. It's tremendous to see people shine and to bring across forth so many of their experiences with them.
Thank you very much. That's very helpful, Jyotika. Yes, absolutely. See, the coaching industry is only booming simply because there are problems to be solved through coaching. So it's not because it's a fancy title and it's a trending word is why it is increasing. No, there is no business that thrives without solving problems. So it's not enough. So when I started coaching, I used to think, okay, I am very great at coaching people and I will make a good career. No, it's a myth. You have to learn business skills. You have to learn creating products. It's exactly like opening up a shop. It's just not enough to open a shop and not talk about it. If nobody knows what you're selling and why you're selling, it doesn't work. Right? We don't go and buy anything just like that. We have a need that we need to serve to ourselves or to others. Cool.
If I may add something here, Jaya, like I think organizations are also shifting to the lens of from I know everything to maybe we need some support. With the speed of the change, AI coming in and so many things happening. I think that's where I think the need or curiosity for coach is also kind of increasing gradually compared to 10 years back to now, I feel. So
Absolutely. Absolutely, because the complexity in human behavior is increasing, right? Um, the and most of the time when organizations are assigning coaches to us, it's when there is enough feedback gone and nothing is changed, but the person is important. Now you need a behavioral specialist who can actually deal with the complexity of the behavior, the thinking, because there's a gap in between identity and perception. You want somebody who's an expert to understand that and solve that for you, right? That is where the lot of organizations are realizing that there are problems, behavioral problems that can be solved or at least toned down through coaching, and that's where coaching supports. Super. This was a very highly engaging conversation. Please ask if there are any last few questions. Otherwise, thank you very much. Okay, what is the standard investment in terms of money and time for ICF-ACC pathways and certification? So when actually we have our brochures available, there are ACC for ACC. I'm hesitating to put a figure here because it doesn't make sense. So what is happening in the Indian market is that there are a lot of new coaches who have started their courses. So the investment is really gone in different ranges and making it very, very confusing for people. However, a decent investment for an ICF ACC is somewhere around 1.5 lakhs to 2 lakhs Indian rupees, if you're asking me for the average. And obviously, different schools have different standards. However, you have to understand that there is a lot of quality to be maintained in this journey. So the success of the coach depends on the coaching school. So the education that you go through, the resources you go through, the work that you do on yourself, the practice that you do, the assessments that you go through, the mentors that we hire who need to be trained and certified. All this brings a lot of effort, and hence there is a certain price for that because everything is so human in nature. Very less technology used. While we use technology, while we use a lot of technological resources, this skill needs a lot of human interaction. If I have to make you reflect something, that is only possible when we are interacting. So that is how the skill is there. And to answer to your question, Meenakshi, that's an average reasonable price.
And I believe, Jaya, that the recording of this session can be offered to the participants who joined today. Is that a possibility? There's a question from you.
Yeah, we generally upload these recordings on our YouTube channel, so the link can be shared. Yeah, great. Awesome. So if you don't have any more questions, thank you very much for making this conversation engaging. And happy to answer anything which comes after that. Reach out to our team, and I can connect again if something is required. Thank you very much.
And if you know any friends whom you think might be interested, also invite them. They're happy to extend the conversation. Thank you.
Absolutely. And we will be doing these conversations monthly now. So happy to, if you can share with your friends or let your friends know, happy to talk to them. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining and asking questions. Bye-bye.